Hello there, this is your average Joe, and I really wanted to go ahead and, well, I'm going to ramble a little bit. So, total open disclaimer, if you don't want to listen to that, that's completely fine. But if you do, well, I'd like to admit that I have made a bit of a mistake. I almost lost sight of my path. The path I've chosen, I almost forgot what the entire purpose of it was. Because I was starting to get wrapped up in all of these things and this stuff and these movements and trying to figure out what to do and the next move to make and how to do it. And I almost completely forgot about what put me here in the first place. What made me want to make a video. Because the whole reason why I wanted to start making MGTOW content was because I was lacking peace. The whole purpose of my path is peace and independence and freedom. I want freedom from these things, these people, these items, the drive, the rat race. I want to be able to find purpose in my life that doesn't revolve around the concepts of what other people who aren't as smart as me, aren't as talented as me, aren't as capable as me, making decisions that cause my life to be ruined or impacted by. I want independence from that. It's a tall order, I know. It's practically an insane notion, but I'm going for it anyways. The reason why I want that is because I want peace. I spent a majority of my life in chaos, and I want peace. I want quiet. I want. I am a bit of a hermit, for the most part. I do interact with people. I do things with. I have my people I go do things with. I have family that I daily deal with and interact with. So it's not to say I completely cut myself off of people, but for the most part, I do not put myself in a situation in which I don't feel comfortable, especially nowadays with all the things that are going on, with putting myself in a position of social vulnerability. So that also, people bring way too much crap and too much drama, too much chaos. And it's not to say perfect order, you have to have chaos, otherwise things get boring, but people in many ways are not entirely necessary for that. So, like I said though, it's not, don't completely cut yourself off, but I would recommend limiting people's access to things. I also have zero tolerance for people and their bullshit. Not saying it's like, someone says something to me, fly off the handle like, oh, hell no, you didn't, no. It's, if someone insults me, whatever. If someone does something, okay, fine. But I don't, when it comes to people that I trust, I call friend, I put effort forth into, I invest time, money, and energy into, if they basically turn on me in such a manner that it basically indicates that everything I did was pretty much worthless to them, they don't exist to me after that. I don't really believe in second chances. So, because fundamentally, in many ways, most people do not change. They do not alter their behavior. The inner workings of themselves don't suddenly shift, and they, oh, I made all these mistakes in my life. Now I can atone for that. That's guilt, in most cases. And I do very much, I'm a very Machiavellian person. I believe in the inherent self-interest and selfishness of people far before I believe in selflessness and their, you know, oh, I want to do good for you. Why? What drives you to do that? What do you have to gain from that? Well, it makes me, you know, don't know. You feel good because you influence people to do things that you don't think are right or you don't want them to do. That's what you want. Now, if that's a bit of a pessimistic view on life, yeah, well, there's a reason why I'm extremely successful with dealing with people. It's because I look to see what their inherent selfish values are, and then I play on them. I trust people who are openly selfish far more than I trust people who are openly selfless. Because selfless people always have something to hide. Selfish people will tell you what they want. Now, I really... Now, what's the point of this? What does this have to do with... I almost lost sight of my path. Well, like I said, it's peace. And the thing is, I'll call it what it is. I get very obsessed with information. I get obsessed with knowledge. When I get into topics, I want to learn everything about it. And if I actually find it something interesting, I want every aspect of it. I want to be able to break it down into its most fundamental, basic visage. You know, I want to find its most basic elements. Break those down even further. And view even all the tiny little screws in the machinations of what makes these things themselves. And in that, because of the fact that, let's face it, if you actually really get into the truth of the things that are going on in the world, the truth of how we got to this point, the truth of the essential issues that are going on in our society, there's no such thing as a good guy in this. There's just a lot of very stupid people and a lot of very cruel people and some people that are just completely clueless walking into it. And I think that describes many MGTOW men, is they were completely clueless about the situation and then they walked right into it and went, whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, that's what happened. That's what most of the older red pill guys will even flat out tell you. They had no idea what they were walking into. Or if someone tried to warn them, nah, man, I got it. So, but now why go MGTOW? Why not just go MRA, or why not go, you know, something else? Well, because here's the thing about MGTOW, and this is what I enjoyed about it, and what I like about it, and what I think some people kind of miss on it. And the purpose of it is entirely you decide, you validate yourself, you decide who you are, who you'll be, and what you're going to do, and what you are going to do, you know, later. Where you're going, what your assets are put into, your time, your money, your enjoyment, your interest. This is a noble endeavor. And I feel as if there's a lot of guys that they mistake this, and especially with the whole MGTOW and incel issue. They mistake it for, oh, I'm just sexually repressed, or I have issues, or, you know, well, this woman did me wrong, so now I do this. You go this direction not to continue to further yourself down the path of anger and hate. You do this because this is the healthy alternative. This is independence. This is the power to choose your life and what you will be and who you will become. And what it is, fundamentally, at the end of the day, is you actually validating yourself. I mean, not to get touchy-feely here, but you loving yourself, you caring about yourself, you recognizing your internal value as a man, as a human being, and you choosing what you do with your life, regardless of the influences around you. Now, this is not to discredit any of the, I mean, because I've jumped onto the MGTOW value live stream a few times now, and I'm not here to act as if, I'm some high and mighty person. I'm a lowly average Joe down in the mud, dealing with everything else. So, and I do say, I'm going to admit, I say that in a figurative sense, in the fact that, honestly, if it wasn't for some people in my life that actually really did care about me, I would be homeless. I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't be here making a video right now because I'd be on a street. And the reason why I make this video, like I was about to lose my own path, lose myself, is because I was starting to see everything in such a bleak and dark aspect. Just absolute abhorrent disgust with the individuals that pushed society to this point. This is irreparable damage. This won't be fixed. And reverting tradition, just, even though I do endorse this, I really, agree with repealing the 19th and replacing it with a law that would put responsibility and power and rights in the hands of those who actually just show and actually really show that they earned that by showing responsibility, by showing inherent value, and showing contribution to society. And here's the thing, is that this is not just men. Because I know plenty of guys that are currently on here and they talk about things and they're like, we just do this. You understand that, I guarantee you think that because you're a part of this, you'll just get a free ride. I say this stuff knowing full goddamn well I haven't established myself well enough yet that I could actually participate. But I know that it would actually create a system that would, because it takes the self-interested values, the selfishness, the true selfishness of humanity, and it makes it very difficult to play on. Because you being selfish inherently disenfranchises yourself. That's why I like that concept, is because it actually hits home with how most people are. But again, what does this have to... I'm losing my own path. What does this have to do with that? Because I stopped caring about peace with myself. I stopped caring about focus on improvement on myself. I just became upset. I'm becoming obsessed, or was becoming obsessed, with this concept. How does this work? How does this work? How does this work? And I just kept seeing these things, this insanity that these people, and again, the insanity of the individuals that created the mess in society, the social justice warriors, the NPCs, the regressives, whatever we want to call them, this tribalist group of people who are utterly and totally insane. There's an inherent danger to looking at this content all the time, is you begin to actually lose touch with reality. Because you become so set. Now, this is not, taking a red pill. No. This is, I'm talking about, you watch enough lunacy, eventually you're going to become a lunatic. You're going to become so hell-bent on combating these things, and this is why MGTOW works, because MGTOW isn't about combating this. We talk about these issues, we bring it up, we discuss it. I like that. I love that. That is something. This is the reason why I make this, is because I wanted to talk, to find peace, because I was going insane, because I wanted to say something. I wanted to contribute something meaningful. And I've been asking myself questions over and over and over again about how do I provide content? How do I get a message out there? How do I contribute something? And this is where I started to lose myself on the path. I was losing my own path because I was trying to come up with some way that I could reach to people, get more people, get more viewers, and then I realized that's not why I wanted to do this. I wanted to talk about what I bring to the table, what I think, what I am doing. And I think that, you know, for the most part, I've been somewhat successful with that. But I think I've also allowed other things to influence some of the things I've been saying and doing. And I need to put that in check. Because that is not my path. That is not my path. That is another man's path. That is another man's thing. Or it is some other person's idea or thing. Not saying I'm stealing other people's ideas or paths, but I'm saying other people can do that. That is for them. This is for me. And I understand that maybe this rant or ramble or whatever we want to call it might not be the most popular thing in the world. Most people probably won't watch it. I don't care. I don't need to care. That's fine. Because the whole reason why I wanted to do this in the first place was to find peace. Because I wanted to contribute something. Now I'm contributing. And now I'm going even more insane because well, it's not enough views, it's not enough subscribers, it's not enough. That's not the reason why I started this. And I'm being real right now. I'm going to be honest with this. This is I've tried multiple times now to put this video out, and the reason why I haven't put those other videos out is because I go on for like an hour talking, and I know I like the sound of my own voice. Really don't. But I want it to be honest with this. Because I was beginning to lose my path. The original goal I set myself upon. And the reason why I want to make this video, and I hope people actually listen to this, is because maybe you are experiencing the same thing. What actually brought you to MGTOW? Was it just, were you just in pain? Was that it? Or was there something else? Was it just the anger, the red pill rage? It's a sane move. It's a good move. Going MGTOW, ghosting, staying a low profile. But is that the end of it? Is there not something more to what you want to do? Or is just simply self-preservation good enough for you? Do you not want to grow as a man? Do you not want to set yourself on a path? Do you not want freedom and independence? Do you not want the ability to make a decision in your life and go for it? Or is this out of self-preservation? Are you a PUA or an incel, driven from other aspects of your parts of the internet? Are you an MRA with nowhere else to turn? Is that why you're here? MGTOW is not the new MRA. It's not a haven for incels. It is not the safe place for PUA. It is a place for people who, and I even think even the major MGTOW content creators are starting to lose sight of this because they're so focused on trying to do certain things. They have lost their paths, or they're losing their paths. The whole purpose of this was not simply to sit there and go, oh, look at these stupid feminists. It was to build men. Give them the facts. And this is where I will admit wholeheartedly I'm guilty of. I haven't done enough of that. I can't keep up with, when it comes to facts, I'm going to admit I'm not as well versed or as well put together as someone like Miss Sandry today, DDJ. I can't hold an audience like TFM. I can't reach out to guys in such a manner that I have 1,000 subscribers or even 100 subscribers. I have a few. But that's all I need. Because the purpose of this is not to get subscribers or views or anything like that. It's to talk and get this out there. Because this is my path. My path, I want to focus on myself. I want to put myself in check. Because I haven't been focusing on self-improvement. I've been focusing on the loathing of these people. And they deserve that. But that is not a good use of my energy. Or my time. Or yours. That time needs to be focused, not just simply looking at these people who want us to be their enemies. They want us to combat them. They want us to come at them. That's not what this is about. And I think that we know the horrors of divorce court. We know the horrors of everything that's going on. I'm not here to provide that either. That's not an experience I can speak about. Instead, I want to do something more constructive. Because that was what my path was originally about. Finding peace and independence. And if this is something that, you know, it sounds like something you can relate to. You, my faceless viewer. I know I do not show my face, obviously, for good reason, but if my voice is conveying something in a message, these words are carrying actual weight and they mean something to you. Like I'm doing right now. Think about it. What does it really mean? What was the path you chose when you chose this? And if it was something along the lines of, well, I was in pain and this just looked like a good place to be, that is not good enough. I'll say that. I'm not here to tell you what your path should be, but I'm going to tell you that's not good enough. You deserve more. Better. So do I. That's what this is about. We deserve better than what we get. The narcissistic monsters that society has created that value this oppression culture more than they value rationality. And no matter what, I mean, they have an entire generation of women in their 30s and 40s right now. They're going to slam into the wall. There will be no men there for them. And do they think that in the next 30 years, the men will come back to the plantation? That we will suddenly return and keep working for them, being abused in the manner that we are? You might find that girl, you might defeat the odds, the probability. If you do, congratulations. You're one of the lucky few. The rest of us, though, the rest of us, we have to value something more. Not saying a marriage or a relationship isn't, like, for you guys out there that are married or had relationships or are in a relationship and it's working, congratulations. You're one of the lucky few. You are literally a statistical improbability right now. But for the rest of us, this is why this matters. Are you going to be the guy who spends the rest of his life hating, self-loathing, sitting in a basement, waiting to die? Or are you going to work on yourself, improve yourself, make something of yourself? Not for anyone else, for you. Are you going to determine the path in your life? Because, like I said, this is my fault. This is my mistake. This is the thing. This is what makes me human. As I was losing sight of my path, focus. Now I'm regaining focus. I'm putting myself back on the path that I so chose when I first started this. And that was, I wanted peace and freedom. And these things will grant me more things. But I also, by doing this, the knowledge that comes with all of this will not leave me. I will not suddenly, these things will not suddenly leave. You cannot leave knowledge. You cannot just lose these things. You can ignore it, though. And I feel like there's a lot of guys that have been in this game way too long that they've lost sight of their path and they're beginning to ignore the very things that got them there in the first place. So, I admit my fault, my mistake, and I'm getting back on track. Will you? If this is what you're dealing with as well, and if you're not, you have my respect, because you have you know, that there's something to be said about you in the fact that in the wake of everything that's going on right now, you have not lost your path. So thank you. Thank you for your time. This is your Average Joe out.